It's the year 2040. You wake up to the soft hum of an automated world running itself. No alarms, no emails, no deadlines. You check your phone. No job listings. No work schedules. No tasks waiting to be done. The streets outside are quiet, not with the stillness of early morning, but with the efficiency of a world where machines have taken over. Shops operate without cashiers. Deliveries arrive without drivers. Buildings maintain themselves without workers. Everything flows seamlessly, and yet something feels off. At first, it was gradual. Factories replaced assembly line workers. Call centers swapped human voices for AI. Offices shrank as automation took over administrative tasks. Then it accelerated. The revolution wasn't just in physical labor. It reached writers, artists, and even CEOs. Algorithms could write books, compose music, and make business decisions in milliseconds. Artificial intelligence didn't just assist humans anymore. It surpassed them. For some, this was liberation. The age-old burden of work was gone, freeing people to explore their passions, travel, create, and live without the constant pressure of survival. No more exhausting commutes, no more meaningless jobs, no more working just to get by. Governments introduced universal basic income programs, ensuring that no one went without food, shelter, or entertainment. Productivity soared without the need for human labor. A utopia, some called it, but for others, it was a slow unraveling. Without jobs, identity itself became uncertain. People weren't just losing work, they were losing purpose. Without the structure of employment, days blurred into each other. Some found new ways to thrive, learning, creating, exploring personal growth. But many struggled. What happens when everything is provided, but there's nothing meaningful to strive for? The world split between those who embraced this new reality and those who feared it. Some saw a golden age of freedom. Others saw a silent crisis creeping beneath the surface. If machines could do everything, what was left for us? Was this the beginning of humanity's greatest liberation, or the moment we lost control of our own future? For centuries, every technological leap has followed the same pattern. Machines replace human labor, but new industries emerge, creating even more jobs than before. The steam engine, electricity, computers, each revolutionized work, but none made people obsolete. Every time we feared the end of employment, we adapted, shifting to new roles, new skills, new economies. But this time, something feels different. Automation isn't just replacing workers in factories or cashiers at grocery stores. It's moving into spaces we once believed were uniquely human. AI can now write stories, compose music, design buildings, and even diagnose diseases. Robots don't just build cars, they drive them. Algorithms don't just process data, they make financial trades, strategize legal cases, and manage entire supply chains. The boundaries between human and machine labor are blurring, and the traditional safety net will always find new work is beginning to fray. In the past, technology created efficiency, allowing businesses to grow and hire more people. But today, companies don't need bigger workforces. To scale, they need better AI. A single software update can eliminate thousands of jobs overnight. Amazon's fully automated warehouses run with minimal human oversight. AI-generated content is replacing journalists and marketers. Even creativity, the one thing we thought was ours alone, is now being challenged by neural networks that can paint, compose, and even produce films. Some argue that automation is just another tool, making our lives easier and creating new opportunities. But the difference now is speed. Change is happening faster than ever, and the workforce isn't adapting quickly enough. We aren't just seeing certain jobs disappear. We're watching entire professions become irrelevant. And the real question isn't whether technology will take over work. It's whether we'll have time to redefine what work even means before it's too late. If automation keeps accelerating, what happens next? Will new industries rise to replace the old ones? Or are we approaching a tipping point, one where there are simply fewer and fewer roles left for us to fill? Is this progress, or the first sign that work as we know it is coming to an end? Imagine a world where no one has to work. Machines handle everything: manufacturing, transportation, healthcare, even art and entertainment. Wealth is abundant, and resources are no longer scarce. Freed from the burden of labor, humanity enters a new golden age. People pursue passion projects, explore the universe, deepen their understanding of themselves and the world around them. With universal basic income ensuring financial stability, work becomes a choice, not a necessity. Some call it the ultimate liberation, the moment when we finally escape the grind and embrace a life of meaning and creativity. But there's another possibility, one where automation doesn't lead to shared prosperity. but unprecedented control. A world where AI and robotics don't belong to everyone, but to a small elite, corporations, governments, or those who own the technology itself. In this future, wealth is concentrated in fewer hands. And without jobs, many people lose not just their income, but their autonomy. If you rely on UBI to survive, what happens when it comes with conditions? Behave the right way, support the right policies, follow the rules, or risk losing your access to the system that now sustains you. Work was once a source of hardship, but it was also a form of power, giving people the means to shape their own lives. Without it, what choices remain? For some, the loss of work is a relief. For others, it is an identity crisis. Without jobs, what gives life structure? What happens to ambition, progress, and self-worth when survival no longer depends on effort? Some will adapt, finding fulfillment in new ways. Others may struggle, searching for purpose, in a world that no longer demands anything from them. If technology gives us everything, will we still have reasons to strive? Both futures are possible. Automation could bring about the most prosperous, creative era in human history, or it could deepen inequality, creating a society where the few control everything and the many exist under their terms. The question is no longer whether automation will take over work. It's whether we get to decide what happens next. Will this be our greatest liberation, or the moment we lose control? For those who welcome automation, the future is bright. Work, once a necessity for survival, has become obsolete. With machines managing every aspect of industry, humanity is free to explore new frontiers. Intellectual, creative, and even spiritual. Lifelong learning flourishes as people shift from jobs to personal growth. Art, philosophy, and scientific discovery thrive like never before. Some design their own virtual worlds, living out limitless possibilities. Others dedicate themselves to causes, improving communities, or exploring the unknown. Without the constraints of labor, the definition of success transforms, no longer measured by productivity, but by purpose. But there is another side to this world, one where the absence of work does not bring fulfillment, but emptiness. Millions find themselves adrift, struggling to redefine their place in society. Without the structure of daily labor, without the clear path of education leading to employment, many face an identity crisis. Who are we when we are no longer needed? Some retreat into digital escapism, losing themselves in artificial worlds. Others succumb to apathy, drifting without direction. Depression and anxiety rise, not from overwork, but from a lack of purpose. In this future, the role of governments, corporations, and societies takes on unprecedented weight. How do we ensure automation serves humanity rather than controls it? Do we create systems that encourage purpose, or do we allow people to drift dependent on a society that no longer requires their contributions? If wealth is generated by machines, who decides how it is distributed? Will universal basic income be enough to sustain not just life but meaning? Or will power concentrate in the hands of the few, turning automation into a tool of dominance rather than liberation? History has shown that every revolution reshapes society. But this time, the shift is different. The very foundation of civilization, work, may no longer be necessary. If that happens, what replaces it? What do we strive for when survival is no longer a struggle? The future will not be decided by technology alone. It will be shaped by how we choose to use it, and the choices we make now will determine whether automation becomes our greatest achievement or our greatest downfall. The future of work is no longer a distant question. It is unfolding now in real time. Factories hum with robotic arms that never tire. Algorithms predict our desires before we even voice them. AI-generated art hangs in galleries, and virtual influencers attract millions of followers. The reality is, no one truly knows what lies ahead. Will governments step in to regulate automation, ensuring that its benefits are shared, or will corporations continue to push forward, prioritizing efficiency over human livelihoods? Will people adapt, finding new ways to define meaning beyond work? Or will the psychological and societal impacts of mass automation create a crisis we are unprepared to face? Perhaps the real question isn't whether automation will take our jobs, but whether we are ready for a world where work, as we know it, no longer exists. If labor no longer defines us, what will? If survival is no longer a struggle, will we still strive for something greater? This is not a distant science fiction scenario. It is a choice we are making now, through policies, innovations, and the values we uphold. Technology will continue to advance. That is inevitable. What remains uncertain is whether it will liberate us or control us. So, As we stand at this turning point in history, we must ask ourselves, are we shaping this future? Or is it shaping us? And if we are no longer workers, then who do we become? This video has come to an end, but the discovery continues. Check out more content on the channel and subscribe so you don't miss what's next. Thank you for watching.